Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Flo, aka The Blended Beauty, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about composting. And this has been a topic for me that I have just been super interested in, and I am finally getting into it. And since this is something that is new to me, I knew that I'm not the only one who was nervous about this, who just wanted to know more information. So I wanted to share this video with you guys. If you are unaware, 50 to 60% of the waste that goes into landfills is organic materials like fruits and veggies. And unfortunately, in landfills, you are not able to break those materials down. I saw a really great documentary and they had a photo of some carrots and they asked the audience, how old do you think these carrots are? And we found out that the carrots, they didn't decompose at all. They were 10 years old. And the reason why this is really, really impactful is because in landfills, there's no oxygen and it does not break down materials easily. And they create CO2 gases that are just really bad for the environment. So if I can play a role in making that easier for our environment to break down and basically recycle itself and to be used in different places, that's what I want to support. And that's what I'm actually doing. And the main reason why I'm composting. I do plan on making a little mini garden, but I do just want to compost just to reduce my carbon footprint. Like, that's the most important thing for me. And what kind of stopped me from even thinking about composting was thinking that it was going to be smelly, that it was going to be a lot of hard work. But once I started researching, it's actually something that I think that a lot of people can utilize in their daily life. So what I actually am doing every week, I actually separate a lot of the materials that I use that I, cook with on a daily basis and just set it aside. Some people utilize little bins. I just keep mine in my freezer in a stasher bag. And then at the end of the week, when I'm ready to go, I add it into my compost. And in your compost, there are basically layers that you have. You want to have like a base layer of basically carbon material, and that could be paper towels, newspaper, used bills, or just paper in general is really, really good. Nothing glossy or waxy, that's not going to be acceptable, but just, think of all the paper waste that you have that comes from your mail. You can utilize that. And I just shred mine in little pieces so it can be a nice little layer for my compost. And I'm actually just using a ventilated planter for mine. You want to make sure when you're composting that there's oxygen. When there's oxygen involved, it's going to make the process of composting easier, and it's just a really great way to get that part started. But along with the browns or the carbon materials, you also want to have nitrogen materials. So you're talking about all your food scraps from veggies and fruits, but also some really great things that you can add that I was not even aware of was hair. So I wash my hair every week and I have shed hair, and I started saving that so I can add it into my compost. And also animal hair as well is really great. And another thing that a lot of people utilize or can utilize in their compost for their nitrogens is used coffee grounds or tea grounds. So that is something that people utilize, I feel like, every single day. I know people who drink coffee every day. So you could utilize that in your compost, and you want to make sure it's used and not new, because the acidity level of used coffee grounds is lower and you don't want too much acidity in your compost. And if you are not aware of places that you could probably get your used coffee grounds for free to utilize for compost, you can go to Starbucks, you can go to Whole Foods, or maybe even your local coffee shop to get some of that so you can get your compost started. And you want to just make sure that those layers are equal layers of kind of like a lasagna or like a sandwich, equal layers of green and browns to make sure that the environment is going to be easy for things to break down. And along with that, I actually added some soil into mine just to make sure that the right microbes are in there to get that process started. And you want to make sure that you turn it at least once a week. I'm doing it the lazy way. I know a lot of people who are super involved, and I'm not just there yet. I think composting can be as easy or as labor intensive as you want it to be, but I'm not at that place yet, and that's okay. But I have a different list of ways that you guys can compost wherever you are in your journey. And after you're done adding all the materials in, you want to make sure it's kind of mixed up a little bit, and then keep it in the sun. Because my planter is ventilated, it's going to have that air circulated to kind of get that process going, but the sun speeds it up. And for this compost, I believe it's going to take between like 2 or 3 months to really get it even developed as compost to be used, you know, for gardening or to give to maybe your local farmers market to be used, or your farms. You can also utilize it in your community garden, in your in your local community. So if you are not, you know, trying to make a garden, or if you don't really know what you can do for your compost, those are really great places that you could start. Even if you are a part of a free cycle group on Facebook, you can even ask like, hey, put a question out there and say, hey, I have some compost here that I'd love to give to somebody. I'm sure somebody's gonna take it. I'm sure a farmer or a gardener would love to have that, because I found out that gardeners actually call composting like black gold, because it just has those great nutrients that are really gonna help your plants or any of the materials that you'd like to use in your garden really thrive. That's all the stuff I really learned. It's really, really interesting once you get into composting and understanding how it can be really beneficial for our environment. So if this was helpful, or if you really thought this is interesting, I would love to make another video of what my compost looks like when it's ready. Let me know in the comments if you like that. Give me some thumbs up, or just let me know. And I think I might make a second video. But that's the end of this, you guys. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. But if you want to see how I am on a daily basis, head over to my Instagram. It's @theblendedbeauty. It's also in the description. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.